I got a very interesting call from a friend of mine yesterday, and it is someone I never expected to ask me this kind of question because it is someone I thought was in a very stable relationship and everything on his end was going absolutely fantastically well. Or so I thought. But clearly, all that glitters is not gold. I was really waiting to use that particular that is it a saying, idiom, whatever. Somewhere in my sentences. If you're new to the channel, by the way, please subscribe. I'd really, really, really appreciate if you do that. So my friend called and then he asked me how would he know if his wife of 7 years is about to leave him? And that question really pushed me back. Because, contrary to popular opinion, I have actually been left a couple of times. So I know a thing or two about being left, okay? And this is the answer I gave him. Chicks will always know when a guy is about to leave them. And how do they know? Number one, guys just we're idiots. So we we don't beat around the bush. Yeah. Sometimes, most of the times, a guy will just ghost you. Yeah. He'll just disappear from your life. And you might call him, he doesn't answer your calls. You might go to his place, he doesn't open the door for you. That's a guy. I mean, unfortunately, for some strange reason, our DNA is like that. I am not like that personally. Me, the people I have left, I usually let them know why I'm leaving. Like I'll be I'll be straight up with you, and I'll be like, listen, I'm leaving you because number one, ABCD, number two, DEFGH, number three, and so on and so forth. Right? So I'll make sure that I tell you every step of the way, or at least just before I leave, why I am leaving. I'll even give you the option of having a conversation with me, and we shall talk about the reasons that I'm leaving. And by the way, you won't convince me to stay. The moment I have said I am bouncing, you will beg, you will go on your knees, you will sing, you will call your elders, you will call your siblings, you will send me money. But if I decide I am bouncing, my friend, I am bouncing. So guys, like I said, let me get back to guys. Guys are very different. There are those who are like myself who will, sit you down and tell you, listen, I am leaving you because of A, B, C, D. This is not working. And by the time it gets to that, by the way, we will have presented the issues that we think that are in the relationship. Is it doubts of whether this relationship is going somewhere? Me personally, I will let you know. I will ask you, certain questions. I will try and even mend. Like I will tell you the things that I feel that are not working in this relationship, and I will give you the opportunity to work on them. But when that time comes, I have told you, I have tried my best, and things are not just working. Imagine me, I'll just go, and there's absolutely nothing you will do unless you hold me hostage. Put a gun to my head, that's the only way I'm staying. And I think even to that extent, I might decide to take the bullet because, some relationships are just unbearable. Back to my friend. Let's call this friend Freddy. So Freddy asked me, how will he know? And of course I had to ask him a couple of questions before I gave him this answer I'm about to give you guys. So I asked him, Freddy, what makes you think that your wife of 7 years wants to bounce? And he kind of gave me a list, yeah. And with his permission, I'm gonna share that list. So he said, number one, he has noticed that the wife is a bit distant, yeah. Goes to work early, rarely communicates during the day, and when she comes home, there's rarely that intimate moment. It's just, hey, baba flani uko aje, hey, mama flani uko aje, okay, what are we having for dinner, this and this. She even serves the guy food, and from there she just disappears into the bedroom in the name of I am tired, many things. And he also had doubts that maybe this chick is also cheating, but from the way he was saying it, it's like that is like the last thing on his mind. Is it she might be, but last thing on his mind. And I was like, okay, so at least we can rule out cheating. But remember in my last episode, I think it was the last one or the one before that one. I think, no, it was the last one. I did say that when chicks decide to cheat on you, my friend, it's going to be very difficult to tell when a chick is cheating on you, because they do it in the most covert ways. So refer to that video and you will get some tips on how to know if your babe, if you're a guy, if your babe is cheating on you. Okay. Now, so and we went on and on, and the conversation was very long. It lasted almost an hour, if I'm not wrong. And when we listed some of those things down, the fact that this chick is distant, they're no longer getting intimate, and she's always on her phone, she's never interested in doing family stuff together. For example, when they want to go to shags, she's always like, can we postpone this, or can we go at a different time, or can you go alone? Do I really have to come with you? And this is your shags, guys. This is probably a place you've also invested together, and Freddy's parents are expecting that when you're going to shags, you're coming with your wife. So if your wife doesn't want to come with you to your shags, what does that tell you? Obviously, she doesn't want to be in a relationship with you. Because one thing with women, if they love you and they care about you and they have feelings for you, they will want to do things with you. They will want to be with you 24/7. They will not be on their phones 24/7. Yeah, especially when there's family time. They will always even suggest things that you can do together as a couple or as a family. But the moment you're like, babe, it's Sunday, let's go to church together. Or she wants to go to the first service or the first mass or the last mass. Basically, she's avoiding to go to church with you. My friend, I think it's time you realize that you might be in the process of being left. Oh yeah. And like I said, divorces, separations are very messy, absolutely messy. And there's not a particular, there's no right time to leave someone or to be left. It's whether it happens in the morning, whether it happens at night, whether it happens during the day, whether it happens in January, whether it happens in June, July, there's absolutely not, there's no perfect time. No perfect time to leave someone. Because, and especially if the person you're leaving actually cares about you. Now that's another problem altogether. Because you can leave someone, especially if you realize even them, they're not interested in you, then maybe things can be easier. They'll be shocked, obviously. They'll be like, what? Really? You really want to leave me? But okay, fine. There are some situations where it happens, where they were actually also waiting for you to leave so that they can be like, okay, it's not me, it's you, or it's not you, it's me kind of situation. So I did tell Freddy that what the first thing he needs to do is talk to the wife and ask her certain questions. And start from where do I say? Start from the ground. Directly the ground. Okay, start from a certain point. And this is the point. For instance, if you guys it's a Sunday and you want to go to church and she doesn't want to go to church, maybe the conversation can start from there. Like, why don't you want to come to church with me? If it's a family outing you guys are supposed to have and she doesn't want to come with you for the family outing, start from there. Like, okay, what's up, babe? And sometimes, and it's most times, you might not get the answer immediately. Like, just because you've asked her there and then you might just not get the answer, because chicks always have their right time to talk. Guys can talk anytime. Like, you can be in the middle of a movie, you ask him, hey babe, kuna hii situation, and they will pause the movie and be like, yeah, okay, so what's up? You can even call them in the middle of the day when they're at work. They can even take time off and have a conversation with you in regards to the situation you want to talk about. But chicks, on the other hand, it has to be the right time. The weather has to be okay. The time has to be fine. It's like there's a system for them. Yeah. It's just not any time. Even a guy, you can wake him up in the middle of the night Yeah, and guys have experienced this a couple of times where your chicks just wakes you up and she's like, "Who's Danu?" And you're like, "Wait, what? It's like 3 a.m. in the morning. Why are we talking about Danu right now?" But a chick, you just can't wake her up in the middle of the night and be like, "Who's Johnny?" My friend. Your conversation, she will have it when she wants. So I told Freddie, start from somewhere, uh, and take it easy. Number one, do not confront. Do not go zile za yani nakwambianga twende ushago hautaki, nasemanga twende church. No, because that obviously will never work. And even with guys, if you want to ask something from a guy, or you want to talk about something with a guy, you do not start with direct confrontation. You just start World War III there and then. No, just ask in a subtle way. Or you can be direct, but be respectful in the way you ask. And you might just get the answers that you need. But every time you're aggressive, chances are you will get an answer, but it might not be the right answer. Yeah? Or the answer you're looking for. So I told Freddie, approach this situation from a perspective of you just want to know what's going on. And maybe from wanting to know what is going on, you will get, and maybe she will open up. She'll be like, okay, perhaps this is the right time to tell this guy that I'm about to bounce. In very few cases, there are some chicks, and these are the crazy ones, who will just up and leave. Utakuja nyumbani tu siku moja, you went to work in the morning, uliacha watoto kwa nyumba, mfanyikazi kwa nyumba, ama watoto wameenda shule, wewe ukienda kazini, then you come back at 5 p.m. and there's absolutely no one in the house. Yeah, it happened to me one time. Yeah, that's a story for another day. You come back and you find vitu zimekwendwa. Another time, me, I was ghosted clean. You go and visit your girlfriend and she's just not talking to you. She decides she's not even going to open the door. You're there knocking and the neighbors are looking at you like you're crazy because they see you and they know the chick is inside the house. Baka wanakwambia habari yako mbuvi. Sana siako kwa nyumba. Those nosy neighbors, when they see you knocking thrice, they're like, hujasaidika. Yeah. In very rare cases, you will find those crazy chicks who will just, do things in a crazy way. They act like the men. Men are the ones who ghost. Chalia anakuzimia tu simu kabisa na ana disappear. There are chicks who are like that as well. They just decide they are blocking you. They tell their siblings, huyo mtu akipiga simu msijaribu kumwongelesha. You can imagine you calling your girlfriend, she's not answering. You call her siblings, they also have blocked you. You call her friends and they tell you, sasa hebu ngoja kidogo nimpigie simu na kupiga. The moment you hang that phone, you will never receive that call from that person, or if you call them, they will never answer. So if you're going through a similar situation like Freddie, the answers might actually just be there with you in the house. Just ask this person and start from somewhere. And the somewhere is start from where the problem is. Ana kwanga kwa simu sana, sumuize tu babe, siku hizi kwa simu sana, kwani you're not enjoying the movie with me? You don't want us to take this walk together nowadays? We've been taking walks before, so today the walk is not happening. When you start from there, then you'll get your answers. And number two, don't forget, do not be aggressive about it. Just get to the point of calmness, then start from there and move forward. As always, I wish you all the best, man. I know things will get tough, but you know what? After the toughness, everything else falls into place. All the best. Don't forget to subscribe. See you on the next one.